Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to Global Impromptu Speaking session number 227. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm very happy to see so many senior members today back in the form. Thank you so much, all ladies and gentlemen. Please keep coming because we learn from your takes. We learn from your inspiring stories. Today, our topics master is a very diligent, very good speaker, Toastmaster Dinesh. Before I call her up on stage, just to let you know all, we will be speaking for 1 to 2 minutes, and for the rest of this session, you will be observing silence and, of course, giving importance to other speakers. This is one way of giving back to the society. As I normally mention, I will continue mentioning this one. Nowadays, even our spouses don't have time to listen to us, including us. And if somebody is listening to us, that person is giving us importance. Let's give them a big hand before they listen to us. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You're all looking beautiful and handsome. Keep glowing as you're doing already. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together to welcome our own. And she's looking amazing today. I have to bribe again and again, make sure at least my topic is easier. Let's put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Dinesh all the way from India. Over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, TTM Amjad Ali. A very good evening to all of you at Global Impromptu. Are you all ready to try out different topics today and challenge yourself? Get better at impromptu speaking, gain the confidence to speak on any topic you're given, no matter what time it is or what occasion it is. Let me help you do that. And let's start the game that we play every evening. And I'd like to remind you that we have a word of the day, and our word of the day is facetious, which is an adjective. It means treating a serious issue with deliberate, inappropriate humor. Let me use it in a sentence for you. I do not appreciate your facetious remarks. We are having a serious discussion here. I repeat, I do not appreciate your facetious remark. We are having a serious discussion here. I hope you got that right. And let me see how you invent yourselves and use the word of the day in the tiny little speech that you make today. All right, let me move to the topics. And our first speaker today is none other than the very graceful Dr. Farida. Dr. Farida, your topic is variety is the spice of life. Variety is the spice of life, Dr. Farida.
A very good evening to my Global Impromptu family members. As human beings, we tend to live in society. And we tend to gravitate towards people of our own kind. Since centuries, it has been customary for people to even marry their offsprings in their own tribes. But when I came to Dubai, I truly realized that variety is the spice of life. Seeing more than 100 cultures and nationalities living in coexistence in one small state. This can only be in Dubai, nowhere else in the world. And come to think of it, once you start living with variety, what else happens? Your mentality changes, your vision, it broadens, the horizon broadens, because what you end up learning is tolerance. What you end up learning is acceptance. There are many people who will belittle these things and talk about it in a facetious way, that this is not really very relevant. And as long as we stick to our own community and stick to our own nationality and stick to our own family and own tribe or clan, we'll have a nice, safe life. But does that make your life exciting? Not at all. Coming to festivals, if you live in a multicultural society, you get to enjoy the festivals celebrated by Christians, Hindus, Muslims, all of them. And this happens in Dubai physically, practically, all the time. So, my dear Global Impromptu family members, variety is definitely the spice of life. Try it, accept being tolerant, accept accept letting go of your biases and accepting people from other cultures into your lives and into your hearts. A very good evening to all of you. Love you all.
A big round of applause to Dr. Farida. And I think this must be the tagline for Dubai tourism, because in a way, when I heard your speech, I felt like I have to visit Dubai, 100 cultures, which I mean, I've never been. So it was a persuasive speech. The Dubai variety, the spice of life visit here was something that I felt you were doing. Thank you so much for your take. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Galal Zaki. Your topic, Toastmaster Galal, is a perfect marriage is one where two imperfect people.
May I just ask? I didn't see the timer. I didn't see any yellow, green, or red flag.
We are timing ourselves. We don't have a timer, so we're going. We're approximating, but I'll try to help you with my timer cuts. I'll help you out.
No, I can put it on. It's okay. I just didn't. I'm so sorry for. Okay. Sorry. The topic is.
Give me a second.
Okay, I've got oops. I've got my stopwatch on.
All right. So your topic is a perfect marriage is one where two imperfect people do not give up on each other. A perfect marriage is one where two imperfect people do not give up on each other. Toastmaster Galal Zaki.
Thank you for the facetious topic. Actually, both my biggest mistake was getting married, and it was the best mistake I made in my life. I'm writing a book called Story of My Wife because I owe her my life. And talking about facetious remarks, she will ask me something and then she'll tell me, are you going to answer me during this lifetime? And that goes on and on and on. She wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and asks me if I'm thirsty. If I say no, then she's going to say, thank you very much. And she's going to frown in my face for a whole week. She never tells me that she loves me. And I tell her that I love her 20 times a day. So one day I went to her and I said, Fadia, I'm not going to tell you that I love you. Again, she goes into, I'm having a shower. She says, Galal, you're splashing water all over the place. So I tell her, get out of here, get out of here. So what she does, she turns on a tap and it sucks out all the cold water and hot boiling water comes on top of me. I could go on and on and on. I did a song for her called I Love You, Fadia. And I say, I'm strong, I'm sure, I'm in control, a man with a plan, believing that life is a neat little package I hold in my hand. I've got it together, they call me the guy who knows just what to say and do. Still I fumble and fall, run into the wall. 'Cause when it comes to you, I'm just a little guy in love, a kid out of school, fire out of control, just another fool. You touch me and I'm weak, I'm a feather in the wind. I could go on and on. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Wow. You are giving serious couple goals for the rest of us here in Global Impromptu, and all the audience are envious of your chemistry, I must say. And let's go to the third speaker for today. And our third speaker is Toastmaster Savita.
Yes.
Toastmaster Savita, got it. I'll just give me a second. This is about future. 3 words to describe your future, and why did you choose them? 3 words to describe your future and why you chose them. Toastmaster Savita.
Good evening, everyone. It is not facetious to talk about future. 3 words, I don't know. That is future. Does any one of you know? Next second also we don't know. One simple thing just changes your life. I remember 2000, we were in India. We were on 7th floor. Suddenly I saw the building in front of us was just shaking. Then I saw a chandelier moving. Then I heard the rattling of utensils in my kitchen. I thought, what happened? That was a big earthquake. If somebody remembers 2000, it happened in Bhuj, Gujarat. So many families, within 1 second, they disappeared from this earth. In those families, few were there from my husband's office also. That's why I recollect and I remember that incident very well. Future is so uncertain, unpredictable. Yes, it can be go in any direction, but if it goes in this particular direction, your mind just thinks, yes, it is very uncertain and unpredictable. So what do we learn from this? Being present, enjoy each moment, whatever that Almighty has bestowed to us. Don't just, spoil your present for the future. I will do this and I will do that. Make a plan, but don't get stuck into this. Don't spoil the present. Enjoy each moment because you don't know what is going to happen next. Yes, 3 words, I don't know. Back to you, Toastmaster Deepa.
Brilliant, brilliant take on that. I could have never come up with those 3 words. That was absolutely a great presence of mind. They say when you're thinking about the past, you're in depression. When you're thinking about the future, you're anxious, and you're only in peace when you're in the present. And that's exactly what you said brilliantly. Thank you so much. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Savita. Now for the next speaker, Toastmaster baby Palipadan. Are you ready? Could you unmute yourself, Toastmaster baby?
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Your topic, Toastmaster baby, is more is lost by indecision than wrong decision. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Toastmaster baby.
Can you repeat the topic, if you don't mind?
More is lost by indecision than wrong decision.
Yes, good evening, Toastmasters. So the topic given to me today is more is lost by indecision rather than wrong decision. To my knowledge and with my experience, I can say this with a very firm statement that it is always better to take some decision, even if it may go wrong. For example, I was always reluctant to take some decisions when I used to study for my CA final examination. So later, after giving many attempts, I found that if I had taken a decision, even if it was a wrong decision, it would have been better. It would have cost me less than what I have incurred. So this is not a facetious comment that I am talking about the topic, but I am talking from my own experience. So in our life, it is always better to take some decisions, even if the decision can go wrong. But many times, even if we take a wrong decisions, by the consequence, it can turn out to be a good decisions, and consequently, it will help us to reduce the possible loss. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Baby. That was a brilliant take, and you brought out a very personal example, done really well, and used this word of the day as well, like many of them in the room. Thank you so much. And let's move to the next speaker. Our next speaker would be Toastmaster Munish Gupta. Toastmaster Munish, could you unmute yourself and come on video?
Yes, please.
I cannot see you. Would you only be in audio?
Yes, I have turned on the video too.
Okay. Okay, Toastmaster Munish, your topic is no one changes the world who isn't obsessed. No one changes the world who isn't obsessed. Toastmaster Munish.
Good evening, everybody. No one changes the world who's not obsessed. Person who's obsessed can only change the world. Person who's obsessed about something in life, anything, that person can change himself also. Because that person has a desire, burning desire to do something. That's the reason that person does something. To do anything in life, to grow in life, you need an obsession. You can't say, I will do it, and then you will take it for granted. You have to chase your goal when you have kept a goal that you have to do this and this work for such a time. For that, you have to plan, organize that you have to do this thing. Then only it's possible. Otherwise, it's not possible. Every night before going to sleep, you have to ask yourself that have you done that work which you want to change? Because that's only possible when you have an obsession. Obsession of anything. It's because it's not changing the world. If you have an obsession, suppose somebody is a fat person and he wants to reduce his weight. So he should have an obsession that he has to plan then what to do, how to get rid of his and get in shape. And he has to work on that. If he has to do business, he has an obsession how to grow and how to expand that business. And he has to work on that. And then only it's possible. Then you can change anything. When you change yourself, you can change automatically. The things will be changed in the world too. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Munish. A big round of applause to him. And I think focus, isn't it? It's all about focus, single-minded focus, and passion in a way translates to obsession. And which is why most of the people who make an impact in the world, who make big changes, who shift the way of thinking, are obsessed. And I think it's good. It is the right thing to do if you want to change the world in ways that you, in a large way, I must say. We all change the world, but if you really want to dramatically change, then I think you have to be obsessed. Thank you for your take, Toastmaster Munish. Let's move to the next speaker. Next speaker is Toastmaster Netri. Toastmaster Netri?
Yes.
Could you come? Yeah, hi. So your topic, Toastmaster Netri, is from the famous abstract artist who I don't understand. He says, Pablo Picasso, inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. Inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. Toastmaster Netri.
Inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. Table topic master, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure most of us want to always feel inspired 24/7. But do you think that is possible? I mean, I've come across days where I'm fully motivated and inspired, but then the next day I fall off the wagon and I don't have any strength in me to continue what I'm doing. So most of us think that inspiration is something that comes to us daily. But what I want to believe is inspiration comes to you when you work for it. Inspiration is not something which comes to anybody. For example, if you're working on a project, if you do not discuss a lot of ideas, the quote that comes to my mind is, your first idea is not your best idea. You keep on working with ideas until you end up with a great idea. So inspiration doesn't come off at your first shot. You keep working on it, and then it reaches you at a point when you least expect it. So it is all up to us to be patient until we get inspired and we find a purpose to achieve that task. Because if we do not have purpose or inspiration, there is no point in doing what we are doing. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to be patient and find inspiration in even the smallest things that you do in life? Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Netri. That was a wonderful take. I'll just add two examples recently that I read about. There was a person who, I forgot his name. He was actually wanting to explore caves, and then he discovered scuba diving. So inspiration came because he was just trying to explore caves underground, underwater, and then this happened. And the Wright brothers, the very famous Wright brothers, they were cycle mechanics. And they were into repairing cycles, and they found it so boring, or they were working, of course, but they kind of found it boring. And then the inspiration came in the form of finding ways to fly, and they found the airplane, or all we can think about. So thank you, Toastmaster Netri, for your take. And that's exactly what you told us as well, that you have to work on it and then it comes to you. All right, our next speaker would be Toastmaster Pratyush Gupta. Could you please come on video and unmute yourself?
Yes. Good evening.
Toastmaster, good evening. Toastmaster Pratyush, your topic is talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Told by Michael Jordan. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Michael Jordan.
Championships. How can championships be achieved? Just by winning one series or one game? No. A person playing any kind of game, whether it is a game that you play on the playground or whether it is a game that you play on your daily life, can be man of the match on that particular game. But to win the whole series, that is the championship, it is necessary that each and every person who is surrounding that person becomes and try to be the man of the match, because it is literally not possible for that one man to be the man of the match on each and every innings that is being played. It is very necessary for the team members to learn from that person who is leading the team that how he is playing, because today he is there with them. He might get injured and he is not there with them on the next day. So there has to be someone who can show that path to the team. And when a team gets such players within its boundary, each and every time they are performing, they become the champions. So putting the whole responsibility on one person, whether he is the leader or he is the captain, is an incorrect way of thinking. We must understand that when a leader or a captain gets a team who is truly following him and trying to understand his ways, then only the team can bring that trophy inside their homes, that is maybe their country or the family where they are staying. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pratyush, for bringing out the spirit of what teamwork can do and how it can make us all champions and not just winners games. Thank you so much for highlighting that. And now let's move on to the next speaker for tonight. Our next speaker would be Toastmaster Naveed. Toastmaster Naveed, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, please.
Yeah, your topic is courage is like a muscle. We strengthen it by use. Courage is like a muscle. We strengthen it by use. Toastmaster Naveed.
Thank you very much, Madam Topic Master, and good evening to all of you. My topic for today is courage is like a muscle. We strengthen it by use. Yes, I was entitled with a car. Thank you.
Toastmaster Baby, could you unmute yourself?
Toastmaster Baby, please keep yourself on mute. Thank you.
I was not feeling well. I was having a fever. And then what happened that in the city I was living temporarily, there was not doctor which I used to visit. And I was new to driving skills. I was having a car, but I was new to driving skills, and I had to go around 200 kilometers to go to my hometown and visit the doctor. I was not confident to go to new doctor because I actually have chit-chat with my doctor as well, because my doctor is friend as well. So when I was not feeling well, I was thinking that is it good to go alone even I am not having a good skill of driving, because it was highway. And I was feeling afraid that should I go or not, there will be a big trailers and buses with full speed. But then I felt that why not to go, because if I am driving here with a lot of traffic, then why should not go on the highway as well? So I took the courage and went myself alone with the new driving skills, because I felt that I have tried many things with my confidence, why not to try this? And then I reached there on time and visited my doctor, and he said to me that you should not come in this way. But I told him no, I should have to do this because I need more courage, because I want to improve my courage. So it was all about from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naveed. You illustrated the point so very well. It brought in some parallels in my life. You know, we bought our first car. My dad got it when he was 52, 53, I think. And he didn't know to drive a car till then. So he used to take it from the house to his office, which was quite close by. Then he now goes to highways. So your story is exactly the same parallel, and I could so relate to it. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naveed, for that wonderful illustration on courage is like a muscle and we have to strengthen it by use. All right, let's move to the next speaker. Our next speaker would be Toastmaster Jesse. Toastmaster Jesse, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, Toastmaster Deepa.
Your topic is poverty is a punishment for a crime you did not commit. Poverty is a punishment for a crime you did not commit. Toastmaster Jesse.
I don't think poverty is a punishment for a crime I did not commit. There has to be poverty. There has to be wealth. That is the way it is. If everything is in abundance, you will not you will not know what poverty is. If someone is well fed, he will not know what is hunger means. So it is a nature's way that there has to be darkness to recognize the light. There has to be abundance to recognize the poverty, and there will always be this difference between poverty and abundance. That is the way it has been. Why should it be a punishment for a crime I did not punish it? If I am poor, then there are ways to become richer, to become self-sufficient. I don't know how it becomes a punishment and a crime did not commit. There are maybe the crime, if a person thinks that it is a crime to be poor, then possibly yes. But there are ways to make oneself to come out of the poverty and to become self-sufficient and to become rich. How will it be a punishment? In fact, I will say poverty is a way, is an opportunity for you to turn your odds into opportunities and get out of it. That will make you. Go to India. I see some people are lazy and choose poverty as a way of living by begging or asking loans or doing some wrong things. That is and they think that is a easy way out, and I don't think even they think it is a punishment because they enjoy it at the expense of others. So definitely not poverty is a punishment for the crime they did not commit. Poverty can be overcome, poverty can be eliminated, self-sufficiency can be brought in. We choose to stay away from these things in helping one another. That's my take, Deepa. Over to you.
That was brilliant. I like the way you disagreed with the topic and you said you shouldn't see it as a punishment. You should see it as an opportunity. Turn it into an inspiration by turning tables, by growing yourself and showing other people the way, which was fantastic. Very nice. And it also brought me into my mind a quote by Rumi, who said, "What you seek seeks you." So if you seek to come out of poverty, you might as well come out of poverty. Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jesse, for that brilliant take. Now let's move to the next speaker. Our next speaker would be Toastmaster Dinesha. Toastmaster Dinesha, could you come on a video and unmute yourself? Hi.
Hi, good evening, Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening. So your topic is, we do not see things as they are. We see things as we are. We do not see things as they are. We see things as we are. Toastmaster Dinesha.
Thank you for the topic. Good evening to you all, global impromptu family members. How we see something? Do we see the same thing? If there are three, four people, do we see in the same way something? We don't see. We take, however, we understand it. Our understanding of the things happen is based on our attitudes, our experience, and exposure. So that means we take the things in our way, not the things in their way. So this happens when I ask. Once my nephew parked his bicycle outside and somebody stolen. Thereafter, he lives in the upstairs and we live in downstairs. So thereafter, at every evening for night parking, he used to park his bicycle in my house, actually inside my house. So one day I told to my nephew not to park in that way because that will damage to my TV or something, some other thing, and just to move it to a side. So how he take it? He took it. I am blaming him for parking the bicycle inside my house. Actually, which I did not wanted, did not intended even. So thereafter, he didn't park the bicycle inside my house. But I didn't intended not to park his bicycle here. But that is his take on the matter. That is how he sees the thing is not in the right way. So we used to think every time in that way. That's based on our attitude, exposure, experience, and how we think is the matter for that. So we have to think without, how do you call that, prejudice, without any prejudice. We have to think in a fresh way, drop in everything we know. Then only we can think in the right way. Over to you, Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. They say we are always colored in a way we see the world. So if we are wearing green, we see everything as green. And I think in a way we have to look in through their lenses. If they are wearing blue, so we have to probably look at their lenses to understand what's happening. And you brought that out very well with that story of the parking controversy and how you solved it. Perhaps you solved it, I guess. Thank you so much for that take. A big round of applause to you. And I'd just like to remind everybody that our word of the day is facetious. Facetious means treating serious issues with deliberate, inappropriate humor. Example, I do not appreciate your facetious remark. We are having a serious discussion. Just because I felt that people were forgetting the word of the day, so I just thought I'll bring it up again. All right, our next speaker for today is Toastmaster Jaya. Toastmaster Jaya, yeah, there you are.
Very good evening.
A very good evening to you. So your topic, Toastmaster Jaya, is I want to know, or I want you to tell us, how do you discipline yourself? How do you discipline yourself in your life?
A very good evening to Impromptu Global members and dear guests. How do I discipline myself? Well, eat and sleep late, get up late. We all would love to do that. Okay. Yeah, we all find it tough to discipline ourselves, truly speaking. And we need that willpower. If you want to achieve anything, you want to be on time to do all that you want to, you need to be on time, which is very good for health, wealth, and for our body and mind too. We have to, like be adamant. I would say adamant. We have to have willpower that yes, tomorrow I'm going to get up on time, I'll do and so an activity. We need to plan ourselves how we can prepare a timetable, put an alarm to wake up early and eat on time. But in the end, it becomes very difficult with the environment we live in, because there are people who come late because of their work, and during weekends there are parties, invitation, house party, etc. Then all that discipline goes in waste. So what to do in that case? It's very difficult for me, at least, you know. And as we all know, when we travel, we get jet lag, and so many times we have read how to wind ourselves to get back to that routine, the place we live in, and we all try to do that. Yes, I think it's up to all of us. If we want to be disciplined, then we have to, you know, weigh ourselves what is important. For example, parties. You can't party throughout the week. You can't party late. You can't eat late. So what do? I would say go less to such parties. Once in a month or once in a while, so that your routine and discipline does not break. That's all I can say for now. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaya. You brought in a lot of different aspects of our life and gave us suggestions on how we can exercise self-discipline, which is something very hard for us. As students, when I was in school, it was very easy. Somebody else was disciplining us. But when it comes to ourselves, disciplining ourselves, it becomes a little more difficult. But I think the aftertaste is all worth it. So it's good to have discipline in our lives. And I think that's what you were telling as well. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. Big round of applause to you. And now let's move to the next speaker, Toastmaster Geeta Kashyap. Toastmaster Geeta, could you? Yeah. Hi. Your topic is from the famous philosopher, Chinese philosopher Confucius. He says, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Toastmaster Geeta.
We have seen we have read about so many mighty warriors, be it Alexander the Great, be it Akbar the Great. They were hard bent on conquering the world. But what happened? What happened? After conquering, were they in peace? Not at all. Not at all. Good evening to one and all present here. We are always seeking to conquer the world, and that is the biggest blunder that we make. Let us conquer ourselves first. I remember of the great poem Ozymandias by P.B. Shelley. There were the warriors, the great rulers who would get their statues built. When they would be the rulers, they would get their statues built, they would get their names, they wanted their name monuments built and wanted their names to be famous. They wanted to be famous, greedy for fame. But the moment they would be defeated by another warrior, their statues would be ravished there, fallen in one corner. Nobody would even look at those statues. The head somewhere and the body somewhere. So this is the truth of life. We all know that, first of all, let us conquer ourselves. Let us conquer all the vices that we are full of. We are full of pride. We are so malicious. We are filled with jealousy. Let us first learn to conquer ourselves. We will be at the greatest peace. We will be happiest people in the world if we are able to conquer ourselves. Nothing will be better than that. P.B. Shelley again says that the poem that he wrote about his friend, about his beloved, whom he loved very much, the poem that he writes, the art, that is the art and literature will remain forever. He wanted his beloved to be popular and that he wrote poems on her. But building statues, and unless if you don't have art in you, if you have no literature, unnecessarily you just kill around. A lot of bloodshed is created. Even Akbar realized that. After a lot of bloodshed is created, you gain nothing except devastation and destruction. So this is what I would like. The message for everybody is that first learn to conquer your own self, and it's much easier then. Life will be much easier and happier and satisfying when we are able to conquer ourselves. Thank you. Back to you, Deepa.
Well spoken, Toastmaster Geeta. Big round of applause to you. I must totally agree with this. There are so many warriors around us. What sets one warrior apart from the other, or would be if he actually conquered his vices and told how it's done, because not many have shown us that. And I think those are the warriors we remember most. For example, Gautam Buddha. He may have come from a warrior clan, but he does stand as one of the biggest warriors of the day. Thank you so much for bringing out that point. And yeah, so many other people are coming to our mind as you spoke about the topic. Let's move on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Dinesh Reddy. Could you unmute yourself, Toastmaster Dinesh?
Hi, Deepa. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, you can. I can hear you. Your topic is, you've got to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction. You've got to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction. Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you so much, Deepa, and very good evening, Impromptu colleagues. So this is something that I really try to do, or I try to read many self-help books. I recently started this something called Kaizen, and where most of these speakers, right, are the writers, authors, what we say. They say it's the gratitude that we have that makes you to not to complain on the things that we don't have, right? If we try to compare with someone, right, we always have something less, right? And at the end, we'll always feel bad if we try to compare, right? And so it's a gratitude that whatever you do in that complete day, it doesn't matter. If at the end of the day, if you feel, if you say to yourself that I have done something better, and that's the sad, and that will make your day better. Or I don't know if you wake up in a better position in the morning, better mindset in the morning, but if you are satisfied the night before you going to sleep, then definitely your morning will be fresh, and it will be again new start to you. But if you are disappointed, then if you complain that about yourself that you haven't done this, and you haven't done that other thing, right, and then you definitely feel something. You definitely feel that you don't have that positive vibe in the morning. This is something that I'm trying to learn. Even if something goes wrong in the day, I blame myself that I'll go hard on myself that I could have done in another way. But this is something that I'm trying to learn, and trying to see if there is a make it as a consistent practice, and so that we can start the day better. Thank you so much, Deepa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh, for bringing us a lesson for us by telling us to be kind to ourselves, and by saying that we are doing better every day and being grateful for what has happened. And one other thing that I might want to add is, somebody was saying that before you head to bed, think about what you're going to do tomorrow, because that way when you wake up, you're waking up with a purpose instead of searching for a purpose the morning. So great take, Toastmaster Dinesh. Let's move to the next topic. And our next speaker would be Toastmaster Ajay. Toastmaster Ajay, could you come on video and audio? Yeah, hi. Toastmaster Ajay, I have a question for you, and I want you to tell us the difference. What is the difference between sacrifice and compromise? What is the difference between sacrifice and compromise? Toastmaster Ajay.
Good evening, everyone, on the Global Impromptu Forum here. And it's wonderful to be speaking on this platform. I admire Toastmaster Deepa shooting out really serious topics on this forum today. Some of them really, really profound. But for a change, I am going to take a facetious stand on your subject. Sacrifice and compromise. Let me give you the best example is getting married. So when you are in love, when you're courting, you make a lot of compromises because you want to be in the company of your loved one, of that beautiful lady, or the lady in the company of the beautiful man. And that is compromise in life. And that's what helps you to achieve the eventual target of probably finding the companion and being together in a wedlock. However, the moment you get married, then the sacrificial altar is there. And then there is a lot of sacrifices to be made. Because if you want to stay in that wedlock, in a happy situation, definitely there have to be a lot of sacrifices. So the difference between sacrifice and compromise, as I mentioned in a very facetious manner, is very simple. What you do before marriage is probably a compromise, but after marriage is absolute sacrifice. And trust me, well, I don't want to be gender discriminatory here on this forum, but yes, I can take that liberty of saying, definitely we as the men folk probably are always on the sacrificial altar more than the women folk. Yeah, I know there'll be a lot of hand shaking and head shaking and no and yes. And that's exactly what I want to do on this forum, is to feel how people respond to such subjects. Having said that, a wonderful topic to be very simplistic in a statement. Sacrifice is something which you do out of love and affection for someone. That is the most important point. Compromise is something which you may not like to do. It may not be as per your love or affection, but probably you're letting it go because you want to keep the relationship. And that's all from my side. Over to you, Deepa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay. Even I was thinking kind of very tricky, but the way you brought it out in a very facetious manner was very interesting about a marriage before and after. I was thinking sacrifice is when you willingly want to do because you really want to do it, like soldiers sacrificing their lives, they're going against their own will. But compromise is something that you disagree and still hesitantly do it because you have to do it. All right, let's go to the next topic.
Deepa, if I may interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, only I'm just completing what you said to be on a serious note, not facetious any longer. Sacrifices, I want to, compromises, I have to. That's the only difference.
Well said, well said. This is a punchline we can carry, very memorable. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Sunita, are you ready for the next topic? And talking about gender discrimination, I've got a very gender biased topic for you. It's from the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher. And she said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Why did she say that? If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Toastmaster Sunita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa, for that lovely topic. So I'm sure Lady Margaret Thatcher must have said that because she had enough of experience with the men in her cabinet with whom she was working. It's generally the case everywhere you see anything that has to be done, it is by the women who do it. So men are very good at talking, but when it comes to the real work, it's the lady of the house. You know, when you have children at home, when there is a problem, they're good friends with their father. But the minute there's a problem, is mom there at home? Is mom there? Because mom has all the solutions. Mom is the only one who can deal with such things. It's very true in my house also. Nice things, always the father gets called and told But when there is an issue, I have fever, I don't have food to eat, I don't know what to do, then it's mom. Because moms are the ones who really get down, get their hands dirty and do the dirty job. So it's not always dirty, but then we are the ones who take the risk. Men have been, especially in the Indian society, men have been taught to, just like some men over here, they talk about compromising and sacrificing very facetious, but they've been brought up like that with the idea that they don't really have to do anything. So in the Indian society, which is changing very, very fast, thanks to you young people who are not going to take it lying down, who are going to say, no, you've got to put your foot down and do your bit also. So now they can't do that any longer. In our generation, many luckily it was changing. So few women were lucky enough to get husbands who were not always the talkers, but also a few of them were doers. But the coming generation, I will say, is changing, and men are doing a lot. We teach our boys also to contribute equally. We teach them that they cannot be the only ones. They cannot depend on the women to do this. It used to be the story, not going to be true for very long in the future. Over to you, Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunita. That was indeed a great fight back. Again, we had a lot of people nodding like this, and then you had a great take, and then you finally had a nuanced stance as well. Thank you so much. A big round of applause to you for bringing that up. And now for the next speaker, it's Toastmaster Sherman. Toastmaster Sherman,
Yes.
Hi. Your topic is, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Toastmaster Sherman.
Madam Topic Master and Global Defense. And I can remember Michael Jordan said number of opportunities he missed, and he learned a lot of things after missing these opportunities. And with that, he mastered all his talents, and he became one of the #1 basketball players. That's my take on this. And sometimes people miss the opportunities. Actually, today also I got an opportunity to go and work with our chairman, the boss, very closely, I can say. But people with me, other people say, how you're going to work with him? Maybe a good opportunity to work with him and enhance my experiences, get more exposure to working with other the company investors and all. Sometimes you can't get back whatever you get. Better to go forward and get all the challenges, and then only you will get, rather than sitting in a comfort zone. The challenges are better to move forward and face the new things, and whatever new things coming into your mind, your experiences will not contract the mind with the same situation. It will need another expansion or with a new experiences. It's a good thing. I saw this statement in a library. Whatever comes into your mind, get new experiences, and your mind will not come to the contraction. Your mind will be with the expansion and with the new experiences. Over to you, Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sherman, for telling us to come out of a comfort zone, because some opportunities may feel like work. We have to get into a different mindset. Thank you so much for bringing that very different perspective to us. Now, let's move on to the next speaker, Jatin. Gavalier Jatin, are you there with us? Yeah, there you are. Hi, Jatin. Your topic, Toastmaster Jatin, is keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Toastmaster Jatin. Jatin, we are not able to hear you. We're not able to hear you. Could you check
can
your
you hear me?
audio? Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. I have read this, I have seen this quote and this quote is by Theodore Roosevelt. And in other words, what it means that never lose track, never lose track of who you are throughout your journey. And this is a really famous quote. I really know this quote, and what it means is basically whatever you want to do, whatever goal or whatever goal you have to do, you should always follow that. You shouldn't never let it go. If you like dancing, be with it. Don't do it only for 1-2 years. I have done this a lot of times for football and other sports, because I wasn't interested, and this lose track. This makes all the money go waste. So yeah, whatever you have, just do it. Don't leave it in the next minute or the month. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Cavalier Jatin, for your take on the topic. And I kind of was thinking how it relates, but anyway, good attempt. Thank you so much for doing that. And now let's move to the next speaker, which is none other than our DTM Amjad Ali. DTM Amjad Ali, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, Deepa.
Yeah, DTM Amjad Ali, your topic is resilience is when you address uncertainty with flexibility. Resilience is when you address uncertainty with flexibility. DTM Amjad Ali.
Thank you so much, Madam Topics Master. Resilience is when you address uncertainty with flexibility. I agree with the statement. One of the greatest examples is the corona. We have all gone through corona, uncertainty, and we have addressed it with flexibility, isn't it? Didn't we change our mindset? Didn't we change our way of spending? Didn't we change the way we used to meet people? Didn't we change the way we conduct meetings? Now we are meeting regularly. Do you think if corona could have happened and we could have started meeting this way thrice a week? I don't think so. Nobody has time. And can you bring people from India, from Singapore, from America, from Pakistan to one platform thrice a week? Impossible. This was uncertainty, and we faced it, or we addressed it with flexibility and positivity rather. And I completely agree with the statement. This is how human beings are better at. We are not animals. We know something happens. As long as we are alive, we will find a way. As we will find a way. There are people who have failed hundreds of times, and when people thought it's impossible for him to achieve or her to achieve, then there they achieved. KFC is one of the examples, isn't it? There are many, many examples. We can start naming, and it will be a list of endless number of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I completely agree with your statement. The resilience is when you address uncertainty with flexibility. Let's be resilient. Trust me, we are resilient people, but sometimes we add our top with negativity, our less hope, then we fail. We are actually living in a bonus life. Everything we are served at, or we are being served, is all bonus, right? We are not going to take home. Our home mean like back where we come from. So let's enjoy this bonus part of life and called as resilient people. Back to you, man.
A big round of applause to DTM Amjad. I just love the way you engage the audience with question, isn't it? You know, the way you bring in the audience to the topic is just fantastic. And the way you correlated with the current scenario, the pandemic, the KFC, and so many beautiful examples. Well spoken. This brings us to the end of the table topic session. And I think I'm the only one left, so anybody can throw one at me.
We will not leave you, of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was a fantastic session. Who would like to give a challenging topic to Toastmaster Deepa? Okay, Toastmaster DTM Kalal, please go ahead.
Two women looked from prison bars. One saw mud, the other stars. Two women looked from prison bars. One saw mud, the other stars.
How many times have you felt imprisoned by your thoughts, imprisoned by your fears and uncertainty, as DTM Amjad Ali just mentioned about? You feared the unthinkable and you couldn't, for God's sake, see a rope which you could climb or cling on to. And suddenly you just found a way to tie a knot to that rope and hold on to dear life. Stronger, and you made it eventually. Can you think about a time in your life that happened? I certainly can. When I was studying as a college student, I used to be very competitive as a kid. And I didn't know how it felt like to fail in a subject. And in my engineering, I failed in a subject for the first time. And it was really embarrassing for me. And to top that up, my other subjects weren't doing that great either. So I thought, oh my God, I'm gone. I've suddenly become less intelligent. I can't do this. I won't amount to anything in my life. This is it. My narrow perspective was there. And I was on the verge of suicide. I couldn't see a glimmer of light then, as much as it now seems so trivial. And oh my God, what was I thinking then? And I took help and I came out of that situation. I understood the broader aspect of life, that studying academics is not everything. Just have a balanced nuance of life and build friendships, spend time in college doing other things as well. So I decided after I failed my exam, I decided to spend my time more in a better way. I decided to invest in friendships. I started participating in extracurricular activities, which I never did all my life. I never had gone to stage doing public speaking, never had gone on a fashion show and all the other things that I did, do a newsletter. So I began to explore myself as an individual, grow my personality. And in that process, my stress levels came down and I was able to do better in my academics. And instead of so many divergent interests that I had, you must be thinking, oh my God, you have so many other things going on. Studies must be going down. No, it started climbing up because the stress was no longer there. So I think when you feel imprisoned, when you feel like you are behind a prison, if you look at the stars, you can look at the stars, but you look at the mud, you will look at the mud. But if you decide to look at the stars, I tell you, you will find the stars and reach the stars. Toastmaster Kalal.
Wow, Deepa. You turned this metaphor into your story and you captured us all. You didn't use any facetious remarks anyway, but that was okay. Thank you. Great.
Thank you so much, DTM Kalal. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Deepa for conducting this successful show. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. With that power vested in me as a host of this very meeting, I adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.